Here's the thing about Ghost Rider rumors in the MCU right now. They're not coming out of nowhere, and they're not random anymore. When multiple insiders start circling the same character at the same time, especially this late into the multiverse saga, it usually means Marvel is positioning something very specific. And Ghost Rider feels like one of those pressure point characters Marvel has been saving for when they really need to shift the energy of the franchise. Avengers Doomsday is a perfect example of why the timing suddenly makes sense. Alex Perez talking about surprise characters being deliberately held back isn't just marketing fluff. The Russos are building this movie like an Avengers Endgame on steroids, except now the threat isn't just a big purple alien. It's Doctor Doom destabilizing reality itself. Multiversal chaos, collapsing timelines, science colliding with magic. That's Ghost Rider's natural habitat. Dropping Nicolas Cage's Johnny Blaze into that battlefield wouldn't just be fan service, it would be thematic. Doom represents ultimate human ego, bending science and sorcery to dominate existence. Ghost Rider is punishment incarnate, a walking consequence. That clash isn't random spectacle, it's ideological warfare. Comics have already proven how hard that matchup goes. In Midnight Suns, Doom casually flexing about killing multiple Ghost Riders isn't just trash talk. It frames him as someone arrogant enough to challenge divine judgment itself. That's why a Doom versus Rider moment in the MCU would hit way harder than just another CGI slugfest. Fire, chains, Hellfire Judgment versus cold intellect and dark magic. It's mythic, not just loud. Kevin Feige teasing that the Doomsday cast reveal isn't complete only fuels that fire. Marvel is clearly holding back legacy characters and high-impact debuts for shock value, the kind of moments meant to break the internet opening weekend, and Ghost Rider fits that bill perfectly, especially when you factor in Daniel Richtman's reporting that Marvel has already selected a new rider and that Johnny Blaze is back on the table. That's important because it means Marvel isn't treating Ghost Rider as a side experiment, they're thinking core mythology. Ryan Gosling openly saying he wants to play Ghost Rider wasn't a throwaway comment either. That Grey Man interview shifted something. Feige didn't dodge it or downplay it. He acknowledged Gosling's fan base and practically winked at the idea of working together. Marvel doesn't do that unless conversations are already happening internally. And let's be honest, if Gosling ever signs on, Ghost Rider instantly jumps from cult favorite to mainstream juggernaut. That's not a Disney Plus only character anymore. That's a theatrical event. Marvel's indecision about whether Ghost Rider should debut as a film or series actually tells you how important the character is. We've seen this before with Moon Knight, a project that spent years bouncing between formats because Marvel couldn't decide how much spotlight it deserved. But Ghost Rider is a different beast. He sells toys, posters, tickets. He's visual chaos in the best way. If Gosling or another A-lister takes the role, there's no way Marvel keeps that confined to streaming. What makes this even crazier is how close Ghost Rider already came to entering the MCU. The Deadpool core concept art wasn't some early sketch. It was a near final vision of absolute multiversal madness. Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider standing shoulder to shoulder with Blade, Gambit, Elektra, Wolverine, and others is exactly the kind of crossover moment Marvel fans live for. Ryan Reynolds personally calling Cage about returning as Johnny Blaze says everything. This wasn't a studio mandate, this was creatives wanting to make something insane. The only reason it didn't happen was pure overload. Too many characters, too many moments fighting for oxygen. And while fans were dissecting those cuts, Cage quietly locked in another Marvel role entirely. Spider-Noir is a massive signal that Marvel still values him and still trusts him with legacy characters. Whether that series connects to Ghost Rider directly or not, it keeps Cage firmly inside Marvel's orbit. That makes a Johnny Blaze return feel less hypothetical and more logistical. Meanwhile, the supernatural side of the MCU has been quietly reshuffling behind the scenes. Originally, Marvel had a very clear roadmap. Werewolf by Night opened the door. Man-Thing and Elsa Bloodstone established the tone. Blade and Ghost Rider specials were meant to follow. All roads leading to Midnight Suns. There were even whispers of Sam Raimi steering that crossover, which would have been perfect given his horror roots. But Marvel pulled back. Not because the idea failed, but because timing matters. And right now, the MCU needs impact more than expansion. Insiders saying Ghost Rider's development pushed Nova back is extremely telling. Marvel choosing supernatural over cosmic suggests they're refocusing on darker, more grounded mythologies after multiverse fatigue started setting in. Vampires, demons, cursed heroes, that's fresh again. That's danger. That's stakes. Brad Winderbaum's comments about Ghost Rider debuting soon, possibly in a Moon Knight-style series, add another layer. The Danny Ketch angle makes sense from a long-term storytelling perspective. Danny carried some of the most iconic Ghost Rider runs in the 90s, dealing with demonic conspiracies like Black Sky and expanding the mythology far beyond biker vengeance. Introducing Danny first allows Marvel to build the supernatural corner quietly, then drop Johnny Blaze later as the legendary figure, the myth everyone whispers about. That's why the idea of pairing Danny Ketch with an older Johnny Blaze is so appealing. You get legacy and evolution. Cage as the hardened, haunted original Rider, a younger actor carrying the torch forward. It mirrors how Marvel handled characters like Ant-Man or even Hawkeye, passing knowledge without erasing history. And Marvel desperately needs this kind of shakeup. The franchise isn't dead, but it's undeniably bruised. Some recent projects underperformed, not catastrophically, but enough to signal fatigue. Newer heroes haven't fully captured the cultural imagination yet. Fantastic Four and X-Men will help, sure, but Ghost Rider is something else. He's not hopeful, he's not inspirational, he's wrath on wheels. That contrast alone makes him stand out in the current MCU lineup. Casting will make or break it. Keanu Reeves feels like a natural fit, pure stoic menace. Norman Reedus has biker energy baked into his DNA. Gosling brings unexpected charisma and star power. Any of them would light up the fandom instantly. But the wild card is Cage. Bringing him back doesn't just acknowledge the past, it validates it. It tells fans Marvel isn't embarrassed by earlier eras, it's ready to remix them. Ghost Rider isn't just another hero waiting in line. He's one of Marvel's most terrifyingly powerful characters. Hellfire that burns the soul, not the body. A being who's humbled gods and forced Thor himself to rethink what power actually means. Add in the aesthetic, the flaming skull, the chains, the motorcycle tearing through darkness, and you've got a character practically engineered for cinematic dominance. There's also that lingering Western influence Feige has hinted at. Carter Slade entering the picture would be genius. A cursed lawman of the frontier, making a deal with Mephisto and becoming a flaming legend of the Old West. That's not just lore expansion, that's genre blending. Horror, Western, superhero myth all colliding. It would instantly separate Ghost Rider from every other MCU origin story. At this point, the signals are too consistent to ignore. Insiders keep repeating the same beats. Concept art keeps surfacing. Actors keep expressing interest. Marvel keeps delaying other projects while this one simmers. Ghost Rider is coming. The only real mystery left is how loud Marvel wants the entrance to be. Whether he roars onto the screen in Avengers Doomsday, ignites the supernatural corner in his own project, or kicks off Midnight Suns down the line, Ghost Rider feels inevitable now. And honestly, the MCU could really use that kind of fire again.